What's up, my guy? How goes? We are in week 11 of 2026. And as you can hear, voice don't sound the greatest because I've been fighting this little sickness. But we'll get to it. Merriam-Webster's word of the day is Eureka. And so there's like excited expression when making a discovery. So like the little light bulb on cartoons or whatever, when it come up over my head, Eureka! Like boom, that's that. So do that information what you will. We always start with the working out. I had 2 spins or whatever, and I take it, whatever, leave me alone. Definitely planning on getting back in my rucks or whatever I was supposed to. I did a lot. It's been busy. It's been a lot going on. But yeah, I had 2 spins or whatever. Well, yeah, I finished up and got the little certificate for the little Working Smart. That was part of week 10 and week 11 because it was in both. So I actually got the certificate, and my last day was on Thursday, which is our record day for this year. So we got that certificate. I signed up with the receptionist for an orientation, but I haven't heard back about the orientation yet. So whatever. Did a good bit of apps this week. There was a role for one of the biggest corporations I know, at least in North America. I don't know about other countries, but for here for sure, that I was really kind of interested in. And you had to do a cognitive test or whatever. And apparently, my brain don't work right. I didn't answer the questions the way they would prefer. So that one didn't work out. But I'm pretty sure I spoke about last week that I did have an interview for a fraud role. And it was with a recruiter. So the recruiter gave me the next step in the interview process, which was to take a cognitive test. And of course, after not passing the first cognitive test, I'm like, I don't know, my confidence done went down a peg or two. But I took it and just answered it honestly. And they actually reached back out to me today and were like, hey, you passed the cognitive test, so interview next week. What day works for you? So hopefully week 12, we have some good news. We know me, I'm never nervous with interviews. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. It's either gonna improve my life significantly or be still driving this car and doing the business and everything like that. So I'm fine either way, but I won't act like I don't hope that it goes great. Like I said, I'm just not nervous about it because, again, I don't have nothing to lose. So really looking forward to that. I'm gonna buckle down and do some studying and things. I did ask the recruiter if they could ask the hiring manager I'll be interviewing with if there's anything that I need to do in preparation. So, I'm gonna just go and tell why, I always talk about mutually beneficial relationships. Just explain why it would be good for them to have me. This is what I bring, this is what I offer. You're gonna get a great work ethic, driven, all that good stuff. No lies told. If that sounds like something you're into, I'm into y'all. Hence me applying. If it isn't, that's fine. But I always, look at this glasses half full versus half empty. Just the fact that this would be the first time that I actually made it this far in the interview process for a fraud role, and actually getting one with the hiring manager. Hey, we doing something, you know what I mean? Because at least with the hiring manager, I let it be known that I don't have, direct, are we looking at transferable skills? Because I have a million transferable skills. I have working knowledge from studying for certain certifications in this field, but I haven't directly myself done fraud as a focus of a role. So don't look at my compliance and think. And they were like, no, it's fine. So to have made it through that step and then pass a cognitive test, and as far as I know, this interview with the manager is the last step. So, again, versus just hoping for a role and taking anything, this would be the one. Like, this is a big deal. But again, I'm not, like I said, I won't be nervous because I can't lose. It would be different. I always say that, and I tell people that I had a young lady that I dropped off earlier this week. She was an intern at the radio station and was speaking on how she'll be nervous when it's time for her interviews because she graduates in 2 months. And I was like, why are we nervous? And she was like, it's intimidating. I'm like, but like, and it's that simple, and I know that's not going to change it for everyone, but for some people it does help. It's like, you apply for this because you want it, right? Yes. You're in whatever current predicament or situation you're in, professional, educational, whatever, right? Yes. Going to this interview, if it doesn't go well, do you lose what you already currently have? She was like, no. Okay. If it goes well, what happens? Then I'm happy. I'm started off in my career, this, that, and the third. So again, nothing bad can come of this besides a little bruise to the ego. But other than that, you lose not a thing, right? Yeah. So why are we nervous? And she was like, of course, it wasn't like, oh, life changing. Yep, that's it. I'm not nervous. But she was like, I'll definitely try to, keep that in my head when the doubt and all that creeps in. And I'm like, please do, because literally there's no reason to be nervous. And that's where I am with this. Like, I'm not nervous. I'm hopeful. I'm super optimistic. Do I want it? Yes. I ain't even been trying to say I need it. We've been really working on getting going in this fraud thing, man, and to be able to, make entry here soon, that would be beyond right on time. I know myself. I know the level of commitment that I have, focus, and where I plan on going with it. And if I'm not mistaken, this is a 6-month role, 6 months of contract. It would be my goal for myself, because business is business. Of course, I would love to get the role, complete the contract, be converted. But in the event that doesn't happen, I can't control what they do. But what I control is what I do in the time that I'm there. Make the best, put forth the best effort that I can, make the best impression possible, and advance myself as much as possible. Be that learning everything I can in the role, as well as completing at minimum 1 certification. Let me finish one of these, at least the first one. Go all in with that. So my goal would be, honestly, to have that no later than 2 months prior to the contract ending. So if it's set for 6 months, having it no later than 4.5 months. So, again, that's something that not even for other places to present to them. Hey, if I've proven myself with my work ethic and what I've produced here, look at what I have now as well. I'm also certified in this. So now I have experience with you all and the certification. I'm committed to this. Is it going to make them, what, you're absolutely right. I don't know. I can't say yes. I can't say no. Again, I can't control what they do. But what I can control is making myself more marketable and more of an asset to them or whoever else, I may end up interviewing with, applying to later. So that's the best thing we got going now. I did get the confirmation back from the recruiter. I'm not sure if I said that in week 10, so I'll just cover it now, from the recruiter from the other role, where it was like, yep, just pass. All we need to do is pass the background check, and once we hear back from the hiring managers, then it's yours. Again, I did my research. It didn't say that the company was a scam, but I don't know if they're big on the whole data collection things, or if it's just a numbers game. So no hard feelings either way. But it may have worked out for the better. Especially, I'd like to say win, but again, I'm honest or whatever. I don't control what goes on with this role. If and when hopefully I get this role, then everything that with the last contract I had and the potential roles that were there that I was spoken to about, with this role that I didn't get for whatever reason, I won't care about any of those if I get this. You hear me? So that's what we got going on right now, man. Like I say, just optimistic and ready. It's a long weekend ahead. I have some jobs set up in different areas that I need to get knocked out, work on the house a bit more, and just get ready for, I believe, it's Monday. Get ready for Monday, man. I'm super excited. So that's that there. I'm pretty sure I did at least like 15 applications this weekend. Even that's been kind of cool seeing, and I guess maybe it does come with having a bit more experience now, whatever, because I still don't have any certifications or licenses at this point. But on both of the main job search engines that people use. I mean, one, you know, that's the one that's helped me get almost every job I've had in the last 6 years. And even the interview I have now came from that app or whatever. But the other one, man, when it had too much shake from there. I know that I got my drug counseling, mental health role from there. And I may have had one other interview since I've been on there, and it's been, what I say, at minimum 10 years. So in all those years, I haven't had the greatest of luck. But even being on there this time, seeing, you know, your application was reviewed, or this person, I'm like, wait a minute, y'all got, okay. So like I said, it's been a pretty good week, you know, all things considered. What we got? Oh man, of course I got Noodle or whatever, and so you only feed them once a week, right? Cool. So I'm in, you know, snake groups and everything like that. I've spoken to people, and I'm like, you know, make sure that I know everything. So they say typically, you know, everywhere I go, yep, we sell them to the mice, they little pinkies or whatever, baby mice or whatever. We'll, you know, we sell them to you. We'll give them to you frozen. You take them home. You throw them out. Give them to them. Boom. Cool. Whatever. Right. First pinky. Well, I go to this place and they're like, "Oh, you won't have any frozen. So here you go." And it's alive. Yep. So, and I'm out driving, you know, making my money. So it's with me for like 3-4 hours. Just squeak, 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 squeak. And I'm just suffocate in the bag. Don't live. I don't want to. And so I get there, and I, you know, my youngest is, I tell my youngest, I'm finna feed him. And what you feeding him? Like a mouse. He was like, "Oh, okay. It's alive?" I'm like, yeah, I thought it would have had choked off by now too. And I mean, of course, it's the circle of life, you know, it's nature. It has to eat. So, but it's like, and it wasn't crazy graphic because I have a corn snake and it says it's a constrictor. So like, versus some of them bite or whatever. And I've seen some snakes like, boom, slam their food right. No, you don't do all that. You just was like, oh, swallowing you down whole. Just, you an eater. That was it. Just swallow, swallow, swallow. And it was like, no, squeak, squeak, squeak. And like, it didn't even squeak the whole time. The mouse just kind of gave up, like, this is my fate. And I'm like, I'm so sorry, little mouse. Yeah. I even thought to like, I'm gonna let this mug outside. But by the time I had got home, the only other, and I'm very cautious because I never had a snake. So I'm like, when y'all say once a week, we saying exactly 7 days? Do I need to really feed in 6? Can it last 8 to 10? You know what I mean? Like, it would have been only 8 because I would have went the next day. But it was like, no, this is nature. It's okay. You know, I don't eat meat, but when I did, chicken, pork, beef, fish, shrimp, you had everything. Yeah, I didn't eat those things, you know, catch them and bite them to death, but that thing had a heartbeat in life too, you know. And so it was like, whether it's frozen or alive, it's still gonna be a mouse. So yeah, let's just go ahead and go through with it. And it was like, yeah, just awkward. And my youngest was like, yeah, can we keep it next time? And I'm like, no, man, you gotta eat. But next time, if they only have live, I will go to another store. I appreciate you, but yeah, I don't want, you know, to watch this little thing all sad. This is, you know, it's a mouse, but this Stuart Little Ratatouille's little baby. I don't want to do that. So we have that, but it's been cool. 8, and that was the day before yesterday. So I haven't bothered at all in the last 2 days. I know they're like, don't, you know, do a whole bunch after they eat. I do need to go in there and see if there's any poop anywhere or whatever. So I do that when I get home now. So that was that, man. Pretty much most of the week. 11. I'm really ready for 6 months from now when it's time for 2K to come out again, because again, I got it like a month and a half later or whatever. But yeah, I be out there getting busy now. Like, I done played on like 2 or 3 teams in the last couple of days where it's like, oh, we winning, we cooking. In this case, it's like getting to it. And I think one game I was like 8 for 9 or 10 for 11 or something like that. Like, going up, this dude can't do nothing with me. Another game they had me at the point guard, we smacked that team, like blew them out. I think I had 22 and 11 assists. So I be out here, man. And that's what a player that I didn't know, you know, how cap breakers work. Now I know how cap breakers work too. Wait till next year. Everything 90. You don't want to step over here. It's a monster. But so that's that with that. What else we got? Oh yeah, that's what I was finna say. So as I was saying about my me sounding not in the greatest of shapes or conditions or whatever, we freaking what was it? So of course we had all that snow come, and I'm like, please don't let the power go out. Please don't let the power. Power never went out. All the snow, right? They had a little tornado warning thing on Monday, and I was at my pops. He had a eye surgery or whatever to release some pressure. No issues or whatever, but the doctor was like, this can't cause problems later. Let's go ahead and laser you now. So he was like, can you drive me over there? Yeah, I got you, pop. So drive him to his apartment. We sitting there, and I don't even remember what I did the night before. I know I was tired though. That I do know. I was tired. So, like, I know the last surgery he had where I went, and it was me, him, and my stepmom. My stepmom went too. We went and grabbed food and stuff. No, I'm staying right here. I'm finna catch up on these Z's. So I stayed out and caught me a little nap or whatever. And I sleep like, let's say 2 hours, 2.5 hours. And I get 2 calls from the hospital, wake up on the second. I'm like, hello, hi, is this, such and such son? I'm like, yeah, K-Pasta, what's going on? And they're like, are you in the hallways? I'm like, no, I'm in my car. And they're like, do you want to come in? Because of the weather. And I'm looking around and I'm like, I see a little bit of rain. I don't even see no wind like that. Lady, if the wind gonna take me, it's gonna take me. As far as right now, I look safe. It look like I'm safe. I'm going back to sleep. Have a good day. So that was that. So we get home. I get home later that day or before I get there, the kids, because they had canceled school that day, so the kids been home all day. And they let me know, like, hey, the power had went out, let's say around like 2 o'clock, something like that. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll be all right. So I'm about to pull up like almost at 7 p.m., right? I'm about to pull up, and they're like, the power just went out again. And I'm like, okay, hopefully come back on in a couple hours like it did last time. Power stayed off. I think the weather got down, the temperature got down to like 30 or 40 that night. Whew. But I was actually okay. Like, got in bed, layered up, went to sleep, slept straight through the night just fine, cold and all. Why I wake up the next day, little stuffy. Yeah, I don't really get sick. We all right. The kids always get sick before I do, like always. They'll get sick 3 times before I get sick once. So I'm like, they going productive coughing up. Oh, Flim, come on. Are you joking, right? Why? Why is this happening? I don't need this in my life. I ain't signed up for this. Children were around. By the time we get to the end of the day, I'm bad dead. Like, and so it stayed off right around 24 hours. Like I said, went off at like 6:30 or something like that, right before I pulled up to the house on Monday, and didn't come back on until Tuesday. But the damage was already done. 7 o'clock on Tuesday, like 7:15, 7:30 on the nose. So we get home and I'm just fighting that. I feel super sick. I'm nauseous. My head hurt, little body aches, and I'm like, man, I can't breathe. So that night going to sleep was hell. Like, just a fight. Like, this ain't it. Whatever. We'll make it through that one. Power comes, like I said, it's back on. What's today? Today is Friday. So Wednesday. I say, okay, I got something for you. Got my little cough drops and all that, my little Ludens. We'll eat Halls over here. Them taste like antifreeze. I don't know how antifreeze tastes, but I assume they got an antifreeze out the taste. I don't like my co-worker, shout out to Mrs. Chris, the former, had put me on Ludens. I said, oh, my Caucasian folks, this is what they, at least that's what she used. And so, oh no, these taste like candy. Like, I done had those and just, it's some eddies. I don't think I've ate more than 2 Halls in a day. I don't care how sore my throat is, they're just not good, no flavor. But Ludens, oh, that's sweet candy. So, popping those, I'm like, all right. Drink some sinus tea or whatever, some story time, nighttime sinus tea or whatever. Get a big mug of that. Cool, all right. Had that steeping hot. Throw a little ginger in there too. Cool. Last step, I'm finna get this tub as hot as I can. And I'm gonna stay in here for at least an hour. So I'm watching this show called Found. I don't know the actor's name, but I like the show. It got Zach from Saved by the Bell on it. So, and the sister, she's from, if I ain't mistaken, I've never watched the show. My ex used to watch Shameless, and I believe she was the sister that was on Shameless. So I'm watching that show. I want to say it's like 40 minutes per show, and I watched 2 of them. So that means I was in there at least an hour and a half. The second one I wasn't even much watching. It was so hot, and I got so comfortable once my body adjusted to the heat. I'm falling asleep on and off or whatever. So I was in there about an hour and a half, got out, took a little nasal saline, boom, boom, 1, 2, blew out what I could. Then I just stuffed my nose up, stuffed it up so it wouldn't be running. No, I think that might have messed me up a little worse too. That first night, I did stuff my nose up or whatever. And so that me doing all mouth breathing and it's dry. And I think it made my throat worse. So that second night, just blew my nose. And I'm like, if I can breathe out of it, I'm gonna breathe out of it. So I slept pretty okay that night. It was a lot better. And when I woke up on Thursday, I felt much better. Like, all right, it took it out. I didn't rush out. I was like, nope, when my body ready, that's when we're gonna get up. So I don't think I left out the house till like noon. You know, just laying there, resting, relaxing until I feel like good enough to get up. And okay, y'all feel good. Got up and I was on to go and actually ran into my raggedy best friend, her husband, and baby boy. They were out. He's no longer a Ninja Turtle. So I'm on like near Center City, and her husband like, "What you doing now?" And I'm like, "No, not what I'm doing now. I'm out driving to make money. What the hell you doing out here? Like, you got a new boy?" Yeah, we just got him slipping. Like, oh, okay. So I stepped out and she was like, "How you feeling?" I'm like, "I feel much better. Still a little stuffy or whatever, but nowhere near the pain. My throat isn't sore at all. It's just a little raspy or whatever. Like, I can tell that the phlegm is still, you know, clearing up or whatever. I got to get the rest of it out, but I feel pretty good." So, saw them. What else we got to report? Talk about jobs, talk about Rooster. Oh, it was cool. Of course, I always like to, you know, talk about this time last year. What sucks is I uploaded one of the videos. I think I was coming from out of town last year when I recorded, maybe. And if I'm not mistaken, I may have not been. Wherever I was or wherever I was coming from, I recorded. I had to break it down into two because my phone died. So it was two parts to the video. And when I was uploading all of the videos and deleting from my phone so I could clear up the memory, or from my Google or whatever, I only uploaded part one and I deleted the second part. So I don't know what all happened. We can live it. I know that I was still talking about NC Works and some job interviews then. So like I said, that was kind of cool that everything ran right there together. Of course, like, you know, last week was week one or whatever, so the follow up from that was cool. And like I said, just looking back and seeing like, man, I was in this space, whatever. I definitely see this being a long-term venture. You know, like I say, you know, we'll be 40 in a few years. That man getting up there, you hear me? And just that was cool. So this was something that happened earlier. I didn't talk about the jobs I had. And I have my book right here, so I don't even got to guess. Hang on, give me one little second. What all did we have in the last 7 days? We had, hang on. 12 to the 18th. Okay, yeah, no, that was the 12 to the 18th. 17th. So that was the only one? Yeah, I guess so. Yep. Okay, that was the only one. 12 to the 18th. So we had what was it that I just did? It was a TV stand, like an entertainment center or whatever. I did one of those for this couple. Guy was from New York, cool dude. We sitting there rapping, and you know, I was going with my headphones because I set it up with the girlfriend. And so me and her doing communicating. And when I get there, she's like, "Yeah, my boyfriend's coming down to open the door." I'm like, "Okay, cool." I'm thinking this is gonna be one of those where, you know, nobody's really talking, and she's in the room, one bedroom apartment, nice, in like one of the little artsy areas. So she's in the room, he's sitting in there, he turns it on TV and on YouTube. You know, I got my doctor on YouTube. So when he turns it on, the guy's talking about like business and stuff like that. D-Herbs, I've seen him, especially here lately, help like celebrities lose significant weight or whatever. So D-Herbs is doing like a business podcast type thing, and I'm like, "Oh, you on that, you know, business and money tip?" He like, "For sure." Guys from New York or whatever. So he get to talking about stuff, and I'm like, we not cutting each other off, but like, man, boom, 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 you know, like some conversation picking up, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna put my headphones down," because I said we're finna be talking. Let's say it took me 2.5, 3 hours to do this. We talking the whole time, and he was like, "Man, yo, let me get your number, because that business mindset you on and that hustle, I like that." He was like, even back home in New York, he was like, "I feel like a lot of people losing that the legit way. They used to, you know, scamming, scheming, and doing foul stuff or whatever to get by." And he was like, "I see some of that grind, you know, here in Charlotte or whatever in the city we in," but he was like, "I ain't running into nobody that got a fire lit like you do. So if it's cool with you," I'm like, "For sure." And he's like, "Plus you gonna order some more stuff, so we're gonna be rapping with you anyway." So that was real cool, man, to have that experience. And I want to say I had another rapping with him. And I know I had, like I said, a young lady I spoke about was one of the Lyft rides that stood out because, like I said, she's in school and she was like really appreciative of everything I was telling. I needed to hear that whatever layoff content. I picked up one lady twice. I picked her up twice. Actually dropped her off to where she was going, and like 4 hours later, came back out, picked her up. Boop, she going back home. I picked her up, and so you know, because of I've become interested in layoff content because I've been affected by restructures, reorgs, reduction in force, whatever you want to call it. You don't have no job no more, but you ain't doing that wrong. So I listened to those, and I was listening to some on the way there, and on the way back, she was like, you know, got to talking to me or whatever. Well, she didn't talk to me at all really on the way there, but on the way back, she was like, yeah, I was listening, and I was kind of like, because on the person I was listening to initially, it was a couple of F, like I counted at least 4 F-bombs or whatever, but she was younger, and it didn't seem like, you know, she was offended, so I'm like, I don't know though. And so I'm like, you know, I'm gonna let it rock or whatever. She don't seem offended. And so, like I said, when I picked her back up, she was like, yeah, no, I was really, you know, caught up and listening to, you know, what you were listening to earlier. And I was listening to something different later. And so we got to talking, whatever, and she's educated as well. Of course, I got my education, criminal justice degree. I want to say she said hers was in social work, and she did use a social work degree. And same thing, she was like, you know, the pay wasn't the greatest. She had her master's as well. Pay wasn't the greatest. I care more than, you know, you care beyond the politics and the red tape. You can't save everybody, and they don't want you to save everybody. Hey, look, this is what we're doing. Do this. It is what it is. We can't save everybody. She was like, I didn't like that. And I went and got all this education, and she was like, for what I got my, you know, my master's and the progression of pay, like how it was going to increase, I didn't see a way to ever pay these loans off. So she's actually a flight attendant. So I was like, oh yeah. And she was like, yeah, I said she been doing it for like maybe 6 or 7 years. And she was like, yeah, I had to pivot. And I was like, same, you know, so I pivoted from using my criminal justice degree and helping people that way to, hey, I need money and I need something less stressful. So I typically work in, you know, financial services, dealing with money, people in that realm or whatever, and it's a lot less stressful. And I was like, but you know, maybe I need to pivot again because layoff, contracts. I mean, nothing wrong with contracts, but they haven't ended. I haven't had like a 2 or 3 year contract. That would be dope. But you know, contracts coming to an end as they're, you know, as expected or whatever. And it was just like, you know, I'm really looking again. Like, do I need to pivot again to something else, or pivot within the financial services to, you know, like I was talking to a guy. I can't remember who it was, but like doing what I call a slingshot. Like, okay, whether it's less pay, whether it's a lower role, whatever, I'm gonna do that, get my foot in the door, and then I'm gonna, you know, kind of like I say, certifications, then pivot over here, which was my plan with the company that laid me off. Cool, I'm gonna get it here. I do 2 years in this role. I'll pivot there. I'll get the certs, whatever. I feel even though my plan was to get the certs. Well, no, I did. I applied for the one cert before I even got the job. I just didn't pass it, and I wasn't locked in as much as I feel I should have been, because if I would have retook it before it expired, and it expired, and it was like $1,000 to, you know, sign up and take it and everything. So that's why I say everything goes playing with this one. I will 300, you know, somewhere between those first 4 to 5 weeks, put up enough. So boop, we got 350, 1100, 1200. Sign up. Let me get this going. You know, and if it seems appropriate, let the hiring manager know, you know, my acting manager, if everything goes as planned, know, hey, I'm actually signed up for this cert right here. I should have it in 2 months. Just want to let you know, again, I'm invested. I want to be here. This is serious to me. Whatever. So that's the plan, man. But I definitely had the money and the time and space and should have got it before. Won't cry over spilled milk. That leads to depression, looking backwards. Can't change what's behind you. Anxiety, stressing about what's in front of you. So I'm only worried about right now. And I had that convo again with the brother that I spoke about, Bronco Pride, at NC Works. And that was something he was saying. People get so caught up in looking back and looking forward and missing what's the only thing you can control, which is the moment that we have right now. So that's where I'm at with it. I'm just focused. Yeah, I spoke about learning to do more breaks and stuff like that. Oh, I got no other jobs lined up for right now. Actually, I have some for this week. Like I said, this will be a busy weekend, and I have, it's kind of doing the opposite of what I just said. Don't look too far ahead. Don't look too far ahead. Don't look too far back. So, whatever's on the menu for the future, we'll see if it all pans out. If it does, great. If it doesn't, we'll just keep moving and worrying about that date, and go from there. So, as far as I can recall, that's week 11, man. We could go ahead and wrap it up. Yeah, that's it. I can't think of anything else. Really been an enlightening week, or just year, honestly. Like I say, I can say for sure there are things that I've addressed and things that I've compartmentalized that have come back to the forefront of my, thoughts or whatever, to my consciousness, and it's like, no, this did happen, and this has been affecting me for XYZ time, and to really be working through that, I think is also making this a much better year. Like I say, we're going on next week. We'll make 2 months that we've been, since the contract ended, and compared to previous times, this is the most peace I've had in between job assignments. And like I say, I only had 1 job to report, so it's not like, the business is going crazy right now. Lyft and Uber are definitely helping, but Uber, like I've done Uber more today, and Uber definitely seems to have more of those like cash bonuses that Lyft used to have. And again, as far as the business goes, it was very intelligent, because if people were utilizing the bonuses like I was in the past, you was getting too. Like I said, some weeks I would have more in bonuses than I had in fares. And I guess they went, absolutely not. You had people in all states and all, countries or whatever that had Lyft doing that. It was very smart for them to switch to turbo zones as far as the business goes. Sucks for us, but again, your biggest concern isn't us. Your biggest concern is your bottom dollar. And I can't be mad at that. You're a business, So it is what it is. That was something that came up in a ride too, about like CEOs and stuff like that, and people making cuts. Lady that I dropped off, her husband was laid off, and it was kind of the same, like, she got more so in the AI automation or whatever. And I'm like, all that's gonna do is leave more money for the stakeholders and the people at the top. If you get rid of thousands of people, like a lot of these companies are doing, that doesn't just go away. Of course it goes into, some goes into whatever automation and AI that they're using, but a good bit is going right back into the pockets. I went from we got rid of nationwide 70,000 employees in a 2 or 3 year span. In that 2 or 3 year span, you add that all up, I go, depending on, I don't have the stats or whatever, but I can see somebody salary going up $500,000 to $1 million, depending on how many people are still at the top that are there. But I can't be mad at it. It's their business, If and when, I'm in that position, I can say with certainty, again, because of how I grew up, I don't have to have it all. So, I'm not getting rid of XYZ employees. I'll get to the point where I'm making $1 million a year. And that blows my mind. People say $1 million isn't a lot of money. And there's people that never had $1 million saying it. What are you talking about? How can you say that? Like, that's life-changing money or whatever. Is it retirement and I'm set for life? For some people, yes. For others, no. It depends on what you do with money. But to say that that's not life-changing, that's not a lot of money, please stop talking to me. I need people to, if you say $1 million ain't a lot of money and you ain't never had $1 million, please get away from me. But I love you, my boy. Be kind to yourself. And remember, all our goals we're working on are going to happen overnight, plural with an S. It ain't going to happen overnight. Mach 2. I'll holler at you next week. All right.